among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Donald Trump and the Republican Party have officially taken over as representatives of the working class here in America. The only people out there supporting Kamala Harris are the big brains in the mainstream media, academia, Hollywood, childish cat ladies, right? That's the base of the Democrat Party, not people out there rolling up their sleeves and going to work every day, living their lives, supporting their families, okay? But of course, a lot of people don't recognize how detrimental the Biden-Harris administration has been on the economy, until of course it's pointed out in a blindingly obvious way, as we see here on NBC.
So this is before, like right when the pandemic was striking. I mean, look, you had home loans at 3.5%. I mean, right? Car loans, 5.2%. Credit card interest rates, which are always terrible. Look at where they are today.
So how bad did things get? Like, do you have numbers for? Because we talked so much about how I just set it up a second ago, how expensive it is to go to the grocery store. We know gas prices are falling, which is great. So tell us about what we saw in the improvements.
I mean, when you look at the vibe session, people feeling terrible about the economy, this is why. You had housing inflation, 8%. Gas prices at the worst were up 41%.
This is why no one believes the Democrats when they say, hey, things are great out there. You just can't recognize it, because we have literally lived through this garbage. And the great news right now is Kamala Harris is actually losing a lot of her steam from the recent pumps she's been getting. As we can see over here, Gallup poll has released new net favorability ratings. Donald Trump is up 5 points and Kamala Harris is down 3 points. Okay, so Donald Trump right now, according to Gallup, is more favorable than Kamala Harris, which flies in the face of all of the big mainstream polls that are trying to paint this narrative that Kamala Harris is incredibly popular with the public when she no longer represents them. And one of the big shockers is recent news about the Teamsters union.
The Teamsters are releasing the results of their member polling on which presidential candidate to back. And here it is, 31% say they support Harris compared to 58% who say they support Trump. The union typically backs Democrat candidates, but has delayed its endorsement in this contest. The union's general executive board expects to announce a decision at some point today. So take from that what you will.
Oh my, put that back up on the screen. Holy moly.
Yep.
Trump, they prefer 58 to 31 over Harris in the Teamsters.
Yep.
If that is the actual number and the Teamsters doesn't come out and endorse Trump, something's wrong.
And something actually is wrong, because the Teamsters have come out and decided not to endorse anyone for president, even though their members overwhelmingly support Donald Trump, right? They're running cover, right? The leadership is running cover for Kamala Harris. Just like the Fed, they came out today and said, we are going to be lowering interest rates just in time for the November election. Okay, that of course is what's happening. But people, of course, aren't living their lives according to these forced narratives. What everyone's seeing is the same thing that Dave Portnoy has seen when it comes to Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. Let's get into this interview over on the All In podcast.
I've done a decent amount of research, I feel like, on Trump. People, everyone, he's lying and this and that. Like, that's what the left always says. He's a liar. That's a lie. That's a lie. And I read an article just like last week. It was from Time Magazine. It's like top 10 lies he's told. And most of the lies tend to be what I would say are exaggerations. Like, he talks how he would if he was on Barstool. Like, I'm going to build like 100. He said he's going to build 1,000 feet of wall, and he built like 300 feet. Or they're all like, they're great. Like, even how he talks in the debate, you know, like they're eating the pets. And he just talks as not presidential. And then those things get taken, and they're like, he's a liar, does this. But they're not what I would say egregious lies, most of them. They're quite clear exaggerations, and he doesn't talk like a president. And whether that helps or hurts him down the road, I just think he's a not presidential president. I said during the primaries I would have voted for Nikki Haley. I'll vote for Trump in the presidency because I want the country to get along. I don't know if they can with him because it's not his fault necessarily to me. But he's broken people's brains. They're just broken. You see people, it's like they're not making any sense. The things they jump on, like
there's nothing he can say that'll make him say What do you think?
That, of course, is Donald Trump's strength. He comes across as a regular person. He is definitely not a politician. He doesn't have this curated persona, right? He is who he is, and he ain't changing for nobody at this point, as is apparent. And Dave Portnoy actually points out something very interesting there, right? The media calls everything Donald Trump says a lie, when as a matter of fact, it's clearly an exaggeration. It's sarcasm. It's a joke. But then they'll come out and say, oh, fact check. He didn't have that stack of hamburgers that went all the way to the moon like he said he did. All of that stuff that they claim is lies basically is not, and people love Donald Trump for being just a normal dude. But Kamala Harris, this of course is a different story.
What do you think happens if Kamala wins?
It's probably more of the same. I think that what the Democrats have done is far worse than really anything Trump has done. Like in terms of not allowing a primary, to me that's crazy. Like I'm somebody who, if I liked a candidate in the Democratic side, I could have potentially voted for that person. Like to not give people a choice, and they really still haven't figured out, well, was he not prepared? Like, is he not mentally aware? Can he not run? Is he too old? He just thought he was going to lose. The theory you just thought he was going to lose is not a real answer. He ran. Like, you have to then let other people run. And if he's not mentally there, which I don't think he is, Kamala has known that, like, and she just lied about it forever. And then they kick him out. So there's so many problems I have with the way she never got a vote. Like I don't know. You can say whatever you want about Trump. He won the Republican nomination by a landslide, fair and square. And Kamala did not. So to me, that's a major, major issue. Some of her past statements for me are just like nutty. And I don't like what's happened in a lot of Democratic states. So I would vote. I hope if she's elected, like California and New York, those don't become what happens in the United States. I don't know that it will. I don't know that much can change.
So true, right? Democrats, the people who are constantly saying that Donald Trump and the Republicans are a threat to democracy, were the ones who nixed out the Democrat process while choosing their candidate, because clearly Joe Biden was not capable. And guess what? Kamala Harris was in on it. She knew the whole time how diminished he was, and she kept it a secret, right? He is still the best person I know, the brightest person I know, fully capable of running the entire country, and she was lying the whole time. But of course, the mainstream media, they're not going to call her on it, right? So here we are. And of course, the best possible thing you can say about Kamala Harris is the economy will be more of the same, all right? We're going to have this malaise where things are not getting better. We've settled into our new normal of high prices, right? And low quality of living. That is what we have gotten. And in a worst case scenario, we will just degenerate into a full-blown depression. Hope that doesn't happen, because hopefully Donald Trump will be elected come November. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.